Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the organizing committee of the 66th Congress of EAP, it is my great honor to welcome everybody in Poland and Warsaw. In particular, I warmly welcome the Congress participants who come from many countries and the deputy representatives of the Polish state administration, presidents of the agriculture agencies, directors of department institutes, presidents of breeders association, authorities of Warsaw University of Life Science, and EAP. Our ceremony honored with the presence on behalf of Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Marek Sawicki, the Deputy Minister, Tadeusz Nalewajk, with your delegation. On the behalf of the Deputy Premier Minister and Minister of Economy, Janusz Piechociński, Mr. Henryk Kobierowski, the Counselor of Deputy Premier Minister. On behalf of Marshal of Mazovia Province, Mr. Zbigniew Czaplicki. I really welcome the President of EAP, Philippe Chemineau. I also welcome the Deputy Dariusz Bąk, member of the Polish Parliament of Committee of Agriculture and Rural Development. Welcome the members of the Honorary Committee, including the chairmen of Republic of Poland Treasury agencies, Mr. Leszek Świętochowski, chairman of Agriculture Property Agency, Mr. Andrzej Łuszczewski, the deputy chairman of Agriculture Market Agency, directors of research institutes, director of National Research Institute of Animal Production, Professor Eugeniusz Herbut, and director of Kielanowski Institute on Animal Physiology and Nutrition, Professor Jacek Skomiał. The chairmen of Breeds Association, the Polish Federation of Cattle Breeders and Dairy Farmers, Mr. Leszek Honzlik, is not here. The Polish Beef Cattle Breeders and Producers Association, Mr. Paweł Dakowski. Polish Pig Breeders and Producers Association, Polsus, Mr. Ryszard Murczyk. I warmly welcome the Congress co-organizers, Vice-Rectors of the Warsaw University of Life Science, Professor Bogdan Klepacki and Professor Marek Schindel. Dean of Faculty of Animal Science, Professor Wanda Olech-Piasecka, together with Vice Deans of Faculty, and Director of National Animal Breeding Center, Mr. Leszek Sobolewski. I am also pleased to welcome Professor Barbara Rekleska, the chair of the organizing committee of the previous EAP Congress organized in Poland in 1998, with her husband, Professor Zygmunt Rekleski. I don't know what, come, no. And Professor Henryk Jasiorowski, the long-time EAP contributor and the head of Cattle Breeding Commission for 2 terms, and also the only Polish holder of EAP Distinguished Award. It's not here. Welcome also the sponsors and exhibitors of Local Industry Day, which were presented on video screen. Thank you very much for sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, Deputy Premier Minister Janusz Piechociński, because of the sudden duties that had prevented him officially great the participations, give us the wishes of fruitful debates and success in our research and production activities. Now, I am inviting to speak the Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mr. Tadeusz Nalewajk. Please, Minister.
Szanowni Państwo, chciałem serdecznie w imieniu Pana Ministra Konstytucyjnego, Pana Ministra Marka Sawickiego serdecznie przywitać obecnych delegatów na zjeździe w Warszawie.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and on behalf of the Minister Marek Sawicki, I would like to welcome all of the delegates to this year's Congress.
Tegoroczny 66. Kongres Europejskiej Federacji Zootechnicznej odbywa się w Polsce już po raz trzeci w historii.
This year's 66th Congress, EAAP, takes part in Poland for the third time.
Poprzednie zjazdy odbywały się również w Warszawie w 1975 roku. Był to 26. zjazd oraz w 1998 roku 49. zjazd.
Previous congresses have also been held in Warsaw. In 1975 it was the 26th Congress and in 1998 it was the 49th Congress.
Dzisiaj spotykamy się ponownie, aby promować szeroko pojętą naukę i rolnictwo oraz nowoczesne technologie w produkcji zwierzęcej.
And today we meet again in order to promote modern and new science and technology used in animal production.
Zjazd Federacji stanowi niepowtarzalną okazję do wymiany informacji i dyskusji na temat problemów produkcji zwierzęcej w Europie oraz zaprezentowania osiągnięć naukowych i produkcyjnych światowej hodowli zwierząt gospodarskich.
This year's Congress is an unique opportunity to experience and to exchange information and discuss topics concerning animal production in Europe and to present global and also local achievement when it comes to breeding animal for production.
Tematem przewodnim tegorocznego zjazdu jest innowacja w produkcji zwierzęcej od idei do praktyki. Program kongresu obejmuje wszystkie aspekty naukowe wspierające nowoczesną produkcję zwierząt z zakresu genetyki, fizjologii, zdrowia, żywienia oraz zarządzania.
The main topic of this year's Congress, however, is innovation in animal production, from the idea to the practice. And in the agenda you will find numerous topics and aspects supporting animal production when it comes to genetics, physiology, health, nutrition and scientific issues.
Jestem przekonany, że poprzez współpracę hodowców zwierząt gospodarskich i producentów żywności oraz podmiotów działających w ich otoczeniu z jednostkami naukowo-badawczymi możemy wzmocnić i zwiększyć świadomość konsumentów na temat korzyści płynących z sektora rolnego oraz zrównoważonej produkcji zwierzęcej na świecie.
I'm deeply convinced that thanks to the cooperation of breeders and local producers, it is perfectly possible to increase the awareness of profits stemming from agriculture and animals for production worldwide.
W imieniu gospodarzy i organizatorów serdecznie zapraszam wszystkich Państwa do udziału w warsztatach i dyskusji na temat najnowszych i najbardziej odpowiednich badań w dziedzinie nauk rolniczych.
And on behalf of the organizers and of the hosts, I would like to invite you to take part in workshops where you will discuss the best practices when it comes to animal production.
Wszystkim uczestnikom zjazdu życzę owocnych spotkań, aktualizacji wiedzy i zdobywania nowych pomysłów. Życzę Państwu również przyjemnego pobytu w Polsce i wielu wrażeń podczas przygotowywanych przez organizatorów Dni Praktyki. Jeszcze raz serdecznie witam Państwa.
I wish all the delegates a fruitful meeting and the best possible knowledge shared during this meeting, a wonderful stay in Poland and best practices during workshops organized by the organizers. Thank you very much and welcome once again.
Thank you, Minister. And now I would like to invite Mr. Waldemar Guba, the Director of the Department of Strategies, Analysis and Development to deliver a presentation, current state and prospects of agriculture in Poland with particular emphasis of livestock production. Please, Director, it's your place, your time.
Good morning to everybody. My role is to give you a short introduction to the picture of Polish agriculture, especially for those who do not know yet Poland very well. You came from all over the world, and maybe you will spend, some of you will spend a few days only in Warsaw, so it would be very good if you have some understanding of Polish agriculture to fully participate in the discussion. Poland is located in the Central Europe. Agricultural land accounts for something like 60% of total country area. 90% of agricultural land is farmed by individual family farms. We have 1.4 million farms. The definition of that is the holding with the more than 1 hectare, and this is the second biggest in the EU number of farms in the country. Something like 40% of Polish population live in rural areas. Biophysical conditions in Polish agriculture are marked by a large share of sandy soils. We have also high share of acidic soil. Something like 50–60% of Polish agricultural land is classified as less favored in the terminology of this common agricultural policy, which means poor soils, low precipitation, relatively short vegetation period. We also increasingly experience droughts, not only seasonal droughts, but very low precipitation during the whole years, and you have the chance to experience this in this hall today. This is something very untypical for Poland. You can be sure, but we have to take this into account, that this will happen more and more often, which of course have very important implication for your science. In Poland, there is a quite regular pattern of regional pattern of differences in farm structure. In the north and west of Poland, you will find very commercialized, market-oriented farms of the size 50, 80 hectares, and even several hundred or thousand of hectares. These are farms, formerly state-owned farms. While south of Poland, the average area measured by area size of farm is even below 4 hectares. So these are farms mostly with double occupation subsistence farms. Just a few pictures to give you a sense how the Polish agricultural landscape looks like. This is a picture from the central Poland. This can be one of the commercial farms, something on the west. Let's say northeastern Poland, where the cattle production has a very high share, with a high share of meadows and pastures. We have several locations with very intensive specialized orchards and soft fruit production in Poland, and this is an example of that. So the contribution of the sector to the GDP is at the level of 3%, but the contribution to the employment is 15%, and you can see this discrepancy indicates lower labor productivity in that sector compared to other economy sector, which then means high restructuring pressure in the long term. This also means the social function of the agriculture sector in Poland in those south region which I showed to you. Of course, these are numbers only for agriculture, but the agri-food sector yes, processing and the trade accounts for 20% of the GDP. Agricultural production, in terms of value, accounts for half of the total output of agriculture, with milk having almost 20%, poultry and pigs 11–12%. In recent years, animal production sector in Poland experienced changes in both on the consumption and production side. In general, there was a tendency to increase the production. Actually, it was a comeback to the higher production level from the past, but also there has been changes on the consumption side. Poles eat more poultry. There is a tendency to lower the consumption of pork. There is a very low consumption of beef, amounting to 1.5 kilogram per capita, which is still has a decreasing tendency, despite efforts of many people to popularize the beef consumption. And of course, there is an increase in the consumption of milk, very much because of the increasing improving processing sector, which offers a large variety of good and consumer products. In total, Polish animal sector produces more than domestic market consumes, so we are contributing to the global food security in that sense. In selected sector like beef, we produce 4 times more than we consume. In poultry sector, the excess production amounts to 20–25% of the production. Poland is the biggest EU producers in apples, triticale, blackcurrant, second biggest for rage, champignon, potatoes. Third place we held for rapeseed, sugar beets, butter, milk powder, poultry meat. We are very proud of the very good performance in Polish agri-food trade, which means that we export and import more and more year to year, but the general tendency is that the net trade balance is improving year by year, and in 2014 it amounted to 6 billion euros. So this is, you see over the last 10 years how this dynamic development reached the level of export more than 20 billion Europe. 80% of Polish agri-food exports goes to the EU countries. The rest goes to outside the EU, with Russia accounting in 2014 for 4.1%, but also US market gets an important, Ukraine. Polish administration and the industry makes big efforts to diversify export markets, and this is very important in the face of growing market export orientation of the sector. As far as the livestock sector is concerned, we have more than 700 farms which have livestock in Poland altogether, with poultry more than 500,000, cattle, pigs. But important is that most of those farms keep just few animals. These are subsistence, small scale for direct local markets production. At the same time, there is a growing, very commercialized, concentrated big farms with hundreds of animals. The same for pigs on this picture. This process is well evidenced in the dairy sector, where year by year there is a growing output per one holding. Over the last 10 years, the number of dairy suppliers decreased by half. So you see the strong restructuring pressure in the sector. At the same time, the production has been maintained. So, in a way, to sum up, I would like to point your attention to major driving factors in the sector. I would rank that in the following manner. I would say that domestic market, its size, competition and income, and changing preferences played a very important role. also already before the Polish accession to the EU in 2004. Poland had in the 90s of previous century a very liberal economy, and that contributed to the very competitive domestic market. The single EU market is a very important driver since 2004, which points to high competition, new imitation, exchange of technologies, and also the new outlets. Common agricultural policy, of course, is a very important factor. This means sizable, important financial support, both direct payments and structural aid, within the rural development program, which in Poland was focused on the restructuring and modernization. What we observe over last year is also growing amount of EU and domestic legislation pertaining to environment, climate, and this is something which the sector will have to internalize in the business strategies. And of course, quality systems, promotion funds, export orientation. So if I had to find few words characterizing the processes observed in the sector, I would say this is modernization, restructuring, concentration, and export orientation of the sector. The challenges from the future, this is of course globalization, climate changes, both direct impacts on the technology, on the physiology of animals, but also in terms of the indirect impact by legislation. Well, let me stop here. I hope I gave you some numbers on the Polish sector. Thank you very much, and I wish you also very fruitful discussion during next days. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Director, for the very nice presentation, interesting presentation. And now I would like to invite to speak Vice Rector of Warsaw University of Life Science, Professor Bogdan Klepacki.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants of 66th annual meeting of European Federation Animal Science. On behalf of the Rector, Warsaw University of Life Science, Professor Alojzy Szymański, as well as my own and whole academic community of university, you are most sincerely welcome on this special event. Today's conference plays a very important role for whole Europe. It gives an unique opportunity to present scientific and technical achievements of animal science and its translation into practice. Warsaw University of Life Science is the leading Polish institution of higher education in life sciences. With its nearly 2 years tradition, is one of the oldest and largest universities in Poland. 2016 would be the year of celebration. We hope it is a place where tradition and modernity meet. It educates experts for the broad sense needs of national biosphere. It offers wide-ranging programs of study, from biological and technical through medical to economics and humanities. All of them are invaluable for the future development of Poland. Among the 38 majors and over 130 areas of specialization, the current enrollment stands at about 25,000 students of Bachelor, Engineer, Master of Science, and PG programs. The teaching is carried out by over 1,200 staff, including 250 full professors. Ladies and gentlemen, our university is, as the biggest agricultural university in Poland, would be too hard to present in a few words. I would like to use this opportunity and invite you to watch a short film presenting our university. But, dear guests, I wish you that this meeting will become not only a place for exchange of scientific ideas and experiences, but it will also become an opportunity to establish wider contacts and cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, have an interesting meeting, exciting discussion, and please find some time to do some seesaw in wonderful city, Warsaw. Thank you for attention.
The high level of education, working closely with businesses and cutting-edge facilities make the Warsaw University of Life Sciences very popular among high school graduates. WULS SGGW is the oldest graduate agricultural university in Poland and the fourth oldest institution of its kind in Europe. Its origins date back to 1816, when the Agronomic Institute in Marymont was set up. Among the founders were such eminent members of the Polish elite as Stanisław Staszic and Stanisław Potocki. The university has always been associated with those merited in the Polish economy. The first chancellor was Józef Mikołowski from Pomerania, who became the Minister of Agriculture. Another chancellor was Władysław Grabski, the eminent economist who served as Minister of Finance and twice as Poland's Prime Minister. During the Second World War, the university's scholars were involved in clandestine education. After the war, it was the first university to resume academic activities in 1945. The anniversary of that date is celebrated at a major open-air event which attracts the residents of Warsaw and its surrounding region. It's known as WULS SGGW Open Days. During the event, the university presents all its faculties, study courses and achievements. A strong promotional emphasis is placed on student associations, which help students develop their interests and engage in their favorite activities within the campus. Warsaw University of Life Sciences is one of the largest and most prestigious universities in Poland. It conducts research and teaching activities as well as pursuing economic studies. The university's advantage is its highly developed infrastructure. The Warsaw University of Life Sciences campus is one of the best designed and equipped education and research campuses in Poland. The university has a highly qualified and experienced staff as well as modern laboratories. It offers 35 courses of study in 13 faculties. These are primarily dominated by natural sciences, supported by technical, economic and social sciences. The university collaborates with over 250 foreign partners on all continents. This allows students and staff to frequently visit foreign partner institutions for internship or study. Students have many opportunities to travel to European and US universities within international exchange schemes. For decades, the university has been a leader among academic institutions in Poland and abroad. In a recent assessment, it won the title of a student-friendly university. 4 times it has won the title of the most creative and innovative university in Poland in terms of career prospects. The high level of education, working closely with businesses and cutting-edge facilities make the Warsaw University of Life Sciences very popular among high school graduates. You could say that the interest of students in this university is its quality certificate.
Thank you, Rector, for nice film and some words for us. Now, I am warmly invited to speech President of EAAP, Philippe Chemineau. Please, Philippe.
Thank you, Roman. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, in the name of EAAP, I want to thank the national and local authorities. Nie mówię po polsku, but I will speak English. And the local organizers, especially the president of the organizing committee and the secretary general, Roman Nikowski, and as well as Dorota Kręcik. They have worked very well and very, very hard to achieve this result today. My thanks also go to the Ministries of Agriculture and of Science and Higher Education, to Polish Society of Animal Production, which sponsored and organized this event in cooperation with the National Animal Breeding Center and the Faculty of Animal Sciences of the Warsaw University of Life Science. I am especially happy to be here under the general team of Innovation in Livestock Production from Ideas to Practice, which is a banner that gathers all animal scientists and professionals, and which is also what I call a sign of times for inciting scientists and practitioners to go from ideas to practice. And I want to thank also our partners from abroad, especially from North America, ASAS, ADSA and CSAS, who allow a fruitful program of exchange across the Atlantic and whom representatives are here today. Of course, in the name of EAAP, I want to thank especially the sponsors for the partnerships that we have developed with them. You have seen their name in the slides, you will see their name in the bag and in the program. Nothing could have been possible without these sponsors. And I want also to raise in this short speech what are, in my opinion, the original points of this annual Congress in Warsaw. This is the second year of application of the recommendation of the EAAP Forward-Looking Group, which has worked since 2012, specifically regarding the organization of the meetings. Renew plenary session, offer new discovery session, theme sessions, and challenge program sessions, alternating with more classic sessions and sessions linked to European projects and to the demand from the sector. All of them this year were proposed by the scientific commissions and coordinated by the president of the scientific program committee, Geoff Pollott, that I want to thank again in this occasion. My feeling is that we continue to develop this year an excellent scientific program, which is probably the main reason for the large attendance that we have this week. Please scientifically enjoy and be very active in participating during these sessions. This year, we also apply for the third time the new process for renewal of the officers of the scientific commissions, which is also an application of the recommendation of the EAAP Forward-Looking Group. The objective is to create a new dynamism for renewal of these deeply involved people. I want to this occasion to thank very much the EAAP Vice President for Science, Aude Wangen, who managed all these changes, obviously not so easy and not so evident. It was a complicated task to handle that Aude handled perfectly. And I also want to thank the outgoing officers, especially the President of the Genetic Commission, Ernest Simianer, as well as all the Vice Presidents and Secretaries who leave their position after some years of work. I must also thank all the people who deposited this year, as in the preceding ones, their candidature for the open position in commissions. This is a sign of an active society. Please continue to be active. EAAP is your animal science society. Thus, I engage all people present here to participate to the business meeting, which will be of the scientific commissions, which will be held on Thursday morning at 11:30, except for the PIC commission, which will be later on. To support this process for renewal and to propose new and exciting subjects for next year, in 2016 in Belfast and in 2017 in Tallinn. Before ending this short address, as I did last year in Copenhagen, I want also to raise the idea that European scientists, animal European scientists, can find in animal science a common good which can be the scientific basis for public policies, for sustainable farming and industry development. And in that field, EAAP resolutely wants to bring its own brick to the building by facilitating the exchanges and common projects among European scientists. And EAAP wishes to facilitate the development of these common views among researchers and countries on the major challenges of livestock systems and have a role of prescription scientifically sound for the European Commissions and other policymakers. And finally, I want to thank the two EAP vice presidents, Aude Wangen and Johan de Beauvert, who will leave both their positions this year. I want to thank the Secretary General of EAP, Andrea Rosati, the Council members, and all the office in Rome, who really did a good job this year as usual. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Philippe. And now, ladies and gentlemen, is information. At the beginning of the opening ceremony, we listened a beautiful music of Frédéric Chopin. It was the Polonaise As-dur, opus 53, and Mazurka Hamol, opus 30, number 2, performed by pianist Marek Piszek. Marek Piszek was born in Warsaw and comes from a family of strong music tradition. In 2008, he graduated with honors degree in piano under the guidance of Professor Bronisław Kawala and the chamber music class of Professor Maciej Paderewski at the Frédéric Chopin University of Music in Warsaw. He perfected his skills under the supervision of such distinguished professors as Sequira Costa, Dominique Marlet, Vera Gornostayeva, or Lee Kum Singh. Currently, he is a postgraduate student at the Karol Szymanowski Academy of Music in Katowice in Professor Andrzej Jasiński class. Mr. Piszek is a winner of many piano competitions in the country and abroad. He was granted by the Minister of Culture and National Heritage and Dongsan Research Foundation. He will also play for us now Fantasy F-moll, opus 49. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Maciej Piszek. thank you very much for performance of beautiful Chopin compositions. Ladies and gentlemen, the opening ceremony of 66th EAP Congress come to end. After short, about 5 minutes technical break, I cordially invite all of you on plenary session and please the chairman, Philippe Chemineau, to lead the session. Once again, I warmly welcome in Warsaw and thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.